As introduced, my name is Fujita and I come from MLIT. So I will share the screen with you and I will talk about the Japan National Land Plans and the initiatives taking out and the initiatives regarding housing, land, and basic services. First, let me explain the Japan's National Land Plan. So this is a Japanese map. We have 125 million people. We are 12th in the world in this regard in terms of population. And we have 37,000 kilometers of land. And for the EEZ, we have about 420 million land. As you can see, both north, south, and east, west, we are a very long country, and so we are a rather large country in this regard. Japan has had 8 rounds of national land planning. Today, what I will explain is the area that you see in red. As for the Japanese population, and 150 years ago, we had the Meiji Restoration, and by till that time, we only had about 30 million people. But over the last 150 years, our population grew tremendously, and we peaked at 2008 at 128 million people. Moving forward, we will be seeing a substantive decline in our population. As for the utilization of the land, as I stated, uh, we have land, about one-third is covered by forests, so we cannot live in these forests, and farmland accounts for about 11%, and for building land, 5.2%, residential land is just 3.2%. And so you could say that the density of the human population is quite high because we have few land to build houses. So next is the initiatives for housing, land, and basic services in the Comprehensive National Development Plan. So when World War II ended, we were defeated, and so Japan had to again develop new food production and energy sources. And so in 1955, we created the National Land Comprehensive Development Act, and we designed areas for specific comprehensive development. We also had to promote development for severe geographical and natural condition areas, and we also had to formulate a national plan. So it took some time. In 1962, for the first time, the land development plan was formulated. And as for the position of the housing construction, the objective of the housing policy is to enable all the citizens to live in houses of certain scales, meeting certain quality criteria, and living in sound environments. This, from the economic perspective, it serves as the foundation for continuous stable development of the national economy, and that requires the improvement of human abilities and the smooth migration of labor. For this reason, we introduced the following measures in the early stage to make long-term forecasts, establish a long-term plan concerning the supply and demand of housing land, to encourage the efficient land use by building high-rise constructions. And Going on to the next page, so in the economic high growth area, we saw a concentration of the population and congestion of the traffic. Going on to the next page, in 1969, it was the second, the comprehensive land plan was formulated. As for the housing plans, while promoting affordable housing, the facilities such as housing parks, water, sewage, nurseries, schools, medical facilities, and shopping facilities were created. And we saw a huge number of commuters from the suburban areas to the inner cities. So in the large urban areas, rather than promoting old patterns of single wooden dwellings, we shifted to the construction of medium and high-story shared dwellings in the suburbs, construction of this type of dwelling and related environmental facilities were promoted apace. And so new towns were built up to in the suburban areas in order to control the traffic. And so in 1987, uh, uh, um, uh, we had stable economic growth, and in order to mitigate the congestion of the train lines, efforts were made to construct new lines radiating from downtown, such as the new Joban line. Going on to the next place, this is the legislation of housing construction plans in 1945, the 10-year plan for housing construction was enacted. At this time, there was a shortage of 2.72 million housing units, and so every year, 250,000 houses were supplied. And the laws were formulated from between 1965 to the 1970s. The first 5-year plan for housing construction was enacted. The enactment of the Housing Construction Planning Act was enacted during the plan period. 2.6 million public housing units were supplied. Going on to the next slide, as I just explained, we promoted the integrated development of housing and commercial complex with suburban high-speed railways. And in tandem, commercial and residential areas were developed along these railway lines. Also, universities were actually established in the suburban areas. We'll skip the next page. And so let us look at the current national spatial strategy. Going one more page. Last July, the UN released about world population prospects. And in that report, it says that the world's population will peak in 2080, and that one-fourth of all countries will be living where population has already peaked. And so we need to respond to the depopulation of the world. So what's important here is that, as explained in Japan, where the population peaked in 2008 in Japan, and we have seen a severe population decline. So there has been a big challenge for in terms of policy perspective. So going on to the next page, this shows the vacancy rate of houses. Uh, uh, Declining population, low birth rate, and aging population causes problems such as the housing in the housing sector. The vacancy rate is 13% right now. So there are some rental property that is vacant, so that excludes a rental property that is up on the market. We are seeing that as the population decreases, we are seeing rising vacancies in the housing sector. So this shows a situation that underutilized and unused land and vacant houses. Uh, though we have population decrease, there are also vacant agricultural land, and therefore demand for new urban land is increasing. And so we are seeing that the conversion from agricultural land to new urban land use is still continuing. So we need to really rethink this policy. But specifically speaking, when we talk, this is the situation of the regions. the navy blue is where people are living, and the blue is the second homes. The white is where there's open land. Uh, and if you look at the right-hand side, this is a house which has been left vacant and where the shrubs are growing all over the house. And when the houses are demolished, then they become parking lots because you can't fill them with new houses. So the population trends are much exasperated in the regions because if you look at the population forecast by municipality, population decline is more severe in municipalities with lower populations. And if you look at the outline of the amendment to the basic land law, whereas up to now, it was a law for the appropriate usage of land. As we are seeing declining population, the perspective of appropriate management of land has become a priority, and that is why we had to amend the basic land law. If you look at the purpose, number 2, disaster prevention and mitigation, prevention and elimination of external diseconomies in the region. It shows measures for land with unknown owners, measures for land with poor management, etc. In the crux, when a house becomes vacant, then it's an obstacle for when a disaster occurs. Also, it can arsonists could set it on fire, and so it is important that the owner appropriately manage the vacant lots. And so we have ensured that the homeowners are held accountable. In the case, uh, uh, it is not very clear who the owner of the property is. And therefore, we need to clarify the boundaries of the land in order to ascertain who the actual owners of these vacant lands are. In 1923, we actually changed our civil codes in order to allow the municipalities to uh, and the courts to appoint a manager of these lands where the owner is not clear and where the land or the houses have not been managed. The courts can step in and appoint a manager for that land. And so we believe that moving forward, the restrictions on vacant lands and vacant houses will become more and more strict. So in the National Spatial Strategy, how are we addressing these issues? For the vacant houses, we are promoting the utilization of such vacant lands in as for land, we have amended the basic land law. So uh, it is difficult to manage all of these vacant lands. And so for agricultural land, we have prioritized them for management. So we have designated that agricultural land will be differently managed from urban developed land that has been developed for housing purposes. And so there will be land that will be actually returned to its natural state. Um, so for the lifestyle infrastructure, and because of the full use of digital technology, and we can create a regional living area where essential services are provided on a sustainable basis. And we will work to solve local issues and improve the appeal of the region by so that we can utilize the Japanese archipelago in an efficient and appropriate manner. And so for the living environment, if you look at the bottom box, we to ensure that essential services for daily life, such as local public transport, shopping, medical care, and so forth, can be provided sustainably. We would like to use digital technology so that we can bundle and combine and unite and link services and activities from many different perspectives. And going on to the last page of my presentation, for example, this is just an example. For example, for human resource development and job matching and the utilization of vacant houses is being promoted by linking the diverse data so that we can allow regional cities to be vibrant, yet though we face a situation of population decline. Thank you so very much for your kind attention, because this ends my presentation.